The Miami Heat paid massive respects to an NBA legend and Miami Heat legend tonight, and despite that, they suffered a horrible loss. I'll break down everything that happened on this episode of Heat Digest. Remember to subscribe to the channel as we're on the road to 500 subscribers. Let's get to it. So the Hawks came to Miami tonight for the Miami Heat's first game at home after 2 games on the road. This was Udonis Haslems' jersey retirement night, and it was a beautiful ceremony as Haslem had a bunch of time not only at halftime but before the game and even after the game where he was acknowledged and celebrated for the great player that he is and always was for the Miami Heat. If you don't know, he played 20 long years in the Miami Heat uniform. All of the years in his NBA career were played in Miami. During these 20 years, he won 3 championships. He was the franchise leader in rebounds, and also he is one of the most iconic Miami Heat players when it comes to the culture for the Miami Heat. So tip your cap to Udonis Haslems, as he has simply been an icon for the Miami Heat and just a total role model when it comes to Miami Heat players and Miami Heat fans. There was a list of different players at the ceremony tonight involving Shane Battier, Mario Chalmers, Goran Dragic, Tim Hardaway, Jason Williams, Dwayne Wade, and a bunch of others. It was a beautiful ceremony, and Udonis Haslems really deserves all of it. As like I said earlier, leader in the rebounds, played 20 years all for the Miami Heat, and even when he wasn't playing and he was sitting on the end of the bench, not playing any minutes for the entire season, he was still so impactful as a role model, a coach, a presence on the bench, because he wasn't playing the minutes, but he was able to instruct and lead from example, as he's been there, done that for a much longer period of time than the majority of the players on the roster now and even before. So cheers to Udonis Haslems, as he had a great career, and it's great to see him being acknowledged the way the Miami Heat did tonight. Now, that was really the only good thing going for the Miami Heat, as we got beat in a game that we didn't deserve to win. We played terribly all night long. The first quarter was awful for the Miami Heat, just like last night, as when we played Toronto, ended up losing by 30 points. It was a terrible game, and now another bad game for Miami. It was our 23rd different lineup this year, and as it may have looked good on the box score when we had 3 different players, 3 different starters with 20 or more points, it didn't get the job done, as we just simply fell apart from start to finish. Not a great game for the Miami Heat. Jovic didn't do a lot. 1 of 5, 2 points, 3 rebounds. Didn't get a lot of playing time. Only played 15 minutes. For Bam, Adebayo, and Hero, they played exceptional. Butler added 25 points, 6 assists, 5 boards, and 2 steals with a plus-minus of even, which isn't a bad thing as it wasn't negative. Hero, on the other hand, 25 points on 10 of 19 shooting, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. And finally, Bam Adebayo, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal, plus-minus of +8 while shooting 7 of 15 from the floor. I will acknowledge the fact that Jimmy Butler, I know it's only his second game back, and it's good to see him playing 36 minutes and giving us 25, 6, and 5 as a starter, along with 2 steals. But the biggest thing I want to highlight is not only the field goal percentage, as once again he shot 8 of 10, which is 80% from the field, but he also shot 10 free throws where he made 9 of them. He, in the last 2 games playing for the Miami Heat, has shot 30 free throws, and he's simply been outstanding for the Miami Heat, but it didn't result in a win here tonight. Hopefully, as things go on, Miami gets better, especially as a team. This is only the 11th game this year where the 3 of them have been on the floor together and healthy, so that is something to take away for the Miami Heat, as there's not a lot of positives besides the ceremony for Udonis Haslems to take away tonight for the Heat. Now, team stats, it really just breaks it down. There's a few things I want to point out. Shooting percentage, we did shoot 46%. It really didn't tell the story, as it felt like we were shooting way lower than that. It felt like every time we needed a basket, we were able to get one every other time. It just didn't seem like we were really playing that hard. In the first half, we definitely seemed like we were getting outworked by the Atlanta Hawks, who didn't have a Trae Young tonight. They didn't have Trae Young, who was their best player by far and away. I know DeJounte Murray has been playing out of his mind last two games. He ended up hitting a game-winning shot for the Atlanta Hawks with 2 seconds left after the Miami Heat took I'm just going to call it an awful possession for the Miami Heat with the shot clock on, and there's going to be about an 8 second difference after the shot clock expired if they were able to run it all the way down, which they did. But the problem was they put the ball in Tyler Hero's hands, really told him to just run the clock down, take a two dribble pull up jump shot, falling away from the basket from the far mid range shot. It didn't go. They were able to get a rebound. DeJounte Murray was able to push the ball up the floor and stop on a dime after accelerating really hard on Caleb Martin and taking a deep pull up three that did go, giving us 2 seconds to work with. It didn't work as, once again, we inbounded the ball to Butler, gave the ball to Caleb Martin after that, and he decided to put the ball on the floor. I don't know what was going on in the last two possessions for Miami. It's mind-numbing to think about. If you watched it, you know the pain, the pain that I'm speaking of and going through, as it simply just was not a great performance from start to finish. And at the end, it was even more infuriating as things seemed to just crumble in front of us as we worked real hard to take the lead, as we were able to stay just close enough with a really bad Atlanta Hawk team who didn't have their number one option. It's just, we should have won this game. It should not have been competitive. We should have dominated from start to finish, but due to our inability to get the game started effectively, especially from behind the 3 point line, it just did not work, and the flame that wasn't there never really came. There was little moments and glimpses where the Miami Heat in the entire arena really got into things, but it died out after possession or two, and it really showed as the Miami Heat struggled. Now, here is another way to look at this team stats, just in a clear, more easier way to the eye. We lost the turnover battle. We won the rebounding battle, which is great to see, as we need to win at least one of the two battles between the turnover and the rebounds. We did win the rebounding battle 44-38, but again, the turnovers, like we've been having a problem with all year long, once again comes down to bite us, because simply we turn the ball over, and when we have good possessions, we weren't able to finish. I know we shot 46% from the field, but it just doesn't tell the whole story, as it just didn't seem very efficient all night long from the Miami Heat and really the Atlanta Hawks, but they just did enough to get by, as the Miami Heat really played down to their opponent tonight at home against Atlanta. Now, what's going on next? Well, we went from the 6th seed down to the 7th seed with this loss. Indiana is currently playing. That is to be determined whether or not they're going to move up another half or a full game with or without a win tonight. Should be interesting. Boston did lose tonight to the Nuggets. It's going to be interesting. Philly did win. This whole Eastern Conference race, every time I pull it up, there's always a game or a game and a half difference from from the 4 seed, or now even the 3 seed, all the way down to the 6 seed. It's going to be interesting. It really is. It's going to be an absolute rat race the entire year, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. Miami, I know, is really close to fully healthy. Kevin Love's back. Jaquez is really the only person out right now, considered out with injury, with the left groin irritation injury. It's going to be interesting when he comes back and we have the full team back to maximum power, but we really need to get more games under our belt as a collective unit, so when the playoffs do come, there's no foreignness to the lineups that we're presenting, or even not even the lineups, but the mismatch that we do have when we do get into that playoff time. And now we have Jovic starting, or we have Caleb Martin starting, Jaquez, Butler. We have a bunch of different things going on. We got to figure out what really works against who, and we got to get things going before it's too late. Like I showed you guys, we are the 7th seed. We should be 4 or 5. With the talent we have and the abilities that we have, we should be in the 4 or 5 seed. I know it's only a half game to a game difference, but it really means a lot when it comes down to the seeding. Hopefully we can get things right and get things turned around, because this was an absolutely dreadful performance for the Miami Heat, and I hope to see things turn around. Again, cheers to Udonis Haslems. You played a great career, and it's great to see you being acknowledged for the great that you were in Miami and for the entirety of your career. So thank you again. Remember to subscribe to the channel, as we're on the road to 500 subscribers. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.